So almost 4 years ago now, I started a series that honestly kickstarted my channel. It was a start for a proper content on the channel and it did well. The year was 2019 and I saw the latest Ben 10 game in a gaming shop. And I said to my partner, wow, I used to love that show. I wonder what this game is like. She responded with, well, why don't you play it? Maybe even do some videos on it. That kickstarted my idea to review it. I needed the equipment though. But with a little nudge from her, I made the leap, and I'm so glad I did. Sweetheart, thank you. I love you dearly. I dedicate this video to you and all the other ones I've done and still do. You're my biggest supporter. And then I was off. As time passed, I started covering them all one by one, every single game. They're all gone now. Why? If I'm honest, I'm embarrassed by the quality. By no means is this perfect now, by the way. I want a proper mic. But the humour fell flat and I was out of my element. But even still, as they were dropping video by video, people just kept saying, hey, can you rank them all? Will you rank them all when it's done? Hey, when this is over, review them all worst to best. And as you now know, 4 years later, here we are. I'm Cardo Gaming, and this is ranking all the Ben 10 games from worst to best. Now, I don't want to waste any more time, but please listen to this 30-second disclosure. This is 100% subjective and 100% my own opinion, which is special because that means with it being my own opinion, it's not wrong, to me at least. I'll be surprised if anyone has the same list, so go easy on me in the comments, and while you're down there, please share your list because I'm genuinely interested and welcome to discussions. Sorry if that sounded patronising, it's just many people don't seem to understand in ranking videos what having your own opinion means, and that no person is wrong because everybody has a different opinion. Anyway, with the history out of the way and the disclosure, let's get started on the list. Starting with the worst ever Ben 10 game, in my own opinion. At number 9 is Ben 10 Power Trip. Now, how many people are in the comment section saying it's because I had something against the reboot? You haven't even allowed me to explain myself yet. This game is a cheap, bare bones mess. It's got it all from missing audios to unloaded maps, in-game maps that don't even work for some reason, like you buy them from the shop, but then you still have to open the map up in the menu because the mini-map shows nothing. What is the point in that? The game had so much potential. I was really looking forward to the game because it felt like it came out of nowhere, yet it was marketed to be huge. A big open world game, they said. That is laughable. It's a bland, empty space, and you can't blame the look on this game and say, it's because they're trying to match the reboot style. That is just excusing laziness. And it's not just because it's the reboot. I was genuinely looking forward to running around as aliens, destroying things. The only thing that ended up destroyed was my hopes once I actually played this monstrosity. I don't even want to talk about this game anymore, so I won't. If you want an in-depth review or hear about my in-depth thoughts, I did do a review on it, and it's actually the only Ben 10 review, bar this one, that's staying online. That'll be in the description if you're interested. In at number 8 is Ben 10 Omniverse 2. Calling this Omniverse 2 should be classed as fraud. We were all scammed. How are you gonna give us this and then make this new one which is claiming to be its sequel? I'd be a tiny bit less annoyed if it was Ben 10 Omniverse something else, but no, they went with Ben 10 Omniverse 2, which tricks so many people's expectations, including my own. This quote-unquote game is a joke, a sheer mobile game at best. It's just Subway Surfers with the occasional enemy wave. I couldn't imagine a more miserable experience. Well, I suppose I could be forced to play Power Trip again. Such wasted potential, all for a quick cash grab. In at number 7 is Ben 10 Alien Force. This is a game that I had as a child and seem to remember it being better than it was. It has its own story with some good looking cutscenes for its time. But God, is the gameplay so poor. Like a few of these Ben 10 games, it's Ben 10 but with only 5 aliens playable. Tiny little bit of a gripe I have with some of these. But speaking of playable characters, they do let you play as both Kevin and Gwen, but their gameplay is just as bland as Ben's, which I've not even mentioned. Kevin has puzzles that can be more annoying than fun, and well, yeah, basically the game is boring. You move from one side of the screen, being stopped, and no joke here, look at the screen. Anyone that's listening to this for background audio, look at the screen. If you don't believe me, you are stopped every 5 seconds to fight another wave of enemies. Dragged on is the best way to describe this, and to say it was a struggle to finish is no exaggeration. It's number 7 because I still prefer the other 2, but not by much. Number 6 takes us back to the universe of the reboots with Ben 10 2017, taking on a similar gameplay style to what we were just playing, but done way better. This one's definitely made for more kids, but it's done well enough to get some enjoyment out of it. You get access to all 10 aliens, which is seen as a treat, and you're able to upgrade their powers, but it doesn't take long to beat. But my god, will you be at it for a long time if you're trying to 100% the achievements, because that last mission has the worst achievement I've ever had to deal with in a long time. Get this rant out of the way with, there is an achievement, which is the final one I needed to get, to do this boss without taking damage, and oh my god, I did this 20 times. I shit you not. I had to take a break from this goddamn game. That's why this review's late. Everything, I took a break from this game because that one achievement, because I wanted to 100% this game, as I do with all the games I'm going to review. I want them 100%ed, like achievement and game and everything. I wanted to 100% it, so I tried so hard for this goddamn achievement. Oh, it's really annoying. Achievements aside, the game is too easy. But then again, given its target audience, you kind of have to let it off. On the whole, if you like the reboot, it's a fun experience. They did actually try with this one, to be fair. Racing our way into number 5 is Ben 10 Galactic Racing, a kart racer being judged alongside other platformers. Is it fair? Not really, but this is a Ben 10 games ranking and I'm ranking all of them. Bar this one because it's really hard to get hold of and it's been removed from the Microsoft and PlayStation store. The only way to get it is to emulate it, and I've not worked out how to do that yet on my limited hardware. It's got to go somewhere, and I think its home fits well here. It's interesting that after a successful platformer they decided to go for a kart racer. But you know what? It kind of works. The game's very fun and it doesn't have a story, but it doesn't need one. What it does have though is a fun character roster. Goats such as Ultimate Cannonball, Heat Blast and Fast Track to name a few. The tracks themselves are really cool, taking you through places like the Null Void, and some tracks even changing each lap. It's really cool to see. As far as replayability goes, this is the most replayable so far because it's a kart racer. I don't have much more to say. It's a fun game. If you've not played it, I do recommend it. Pardon me. Going back to platforming with number 4 is Ben 10 Protector of Earth. Wow, just saying that's making me think, have I ranked it too low? But this is my honest opinion, but just remember 4 is no means a bad ranking. The first Ben 10 game really showed off a lot, with a strong original story, great graphics for its time, and the game's really fun to play. I liked the Alien Force game. It had a gameplay style of running through levels, being stopped by waves of enemies. Unlike that game, however, they're not every 5 seconds, so the progression feels steady. With lots of callbacks to the show, some great boss battles, this game really does feel fantastic. It's a long one too, so there's plenty of hours of enjoyment. Oh yeah, and Cannonball's playable in it too, so that's a huge W. My only gripe though is that you can't play as more of Ben's aliens. I feel like Diamond Head is greatly missed here. As mentioned, Cannonball is a W, but Wildvine? I like him, but he's holding an L over Diamond Head. They definitely should have done Diamond Head over Wildvine. Top 3 now, and here's one you probably expected to be first. Ben 10 Ultimate Alien Cosmic Destruction. Now this game is so good, almost perfect. It's got one of the best soundtracks from all of the games. It brings back so many classic villains, even ones from the classic show. It had loads of aliens to play as, and it takes you all the way around the world. I could spend ages talking about how much and why I love this game, but in reality I should explain why it's third. And that's because it comes down to its flaws. For an Ultimate Alien game, the ultimates are locked to only small sequences. which is a great shame, and I don't know why, because when you can glitch out of an area as Ultimate Spider Monkey, it shows you what it would be like playing free as an Ultimate, and it's so much fun. And only 4 aliens on a wheel? Who even decided that was a good idea? You have a lot of aliens to play as, but yet you have a wheel of only 4? You have to pause and swap out each time you want to change an alien that's on your wheel. There's 2 extra aliens to play as, but they're console exclusive. Wrath if you're on Xbox and Forearms if you're on PlayStation. Now that was a nasty idea, making kids buy it on both consoles because they wanted to have played as both. And they chose the fan favourites too, they knew what they were doing. Summing up, it's a great game, who many rank as number 1. But there's 2 more still to show off, and can you take a guess which one number 2 is? Number 2 is Ben 10 Omniverse. Honestly, this is a huge Ben 10 game, and let me begin listing its pros. Firstly, it's co-op. And the flaw that this game has, Power Trip does fix. I'll mention it in a minute. But co-op, huge W, made it even better because the game's fun. Secondly, the story's so well done, you play as both Bens. Young Ben and older Ben, which helps my next pro. There's so many aliens. Both Bens share aliens such as Diamond Head, finally, Cannonbolt, Heat Blast, Wildvine, Wild Moth, and Forearms. But what's neat about this though, is although they're both the same alien, they have their unique style where they're visually different. So you've got the classic look and the Omniverse look. And I really like that. So both have their own unique aliens, so young Ben has Accelerate, Eye Guy and Feedback to name a few, and older Ben has Blocks, Gravitack and Shock Squatch. All of the Omniverse type aliens. It's actually mad to me that we get to play as Eye Guy. I would never have thought in a million years we'd be able to play as him. The gameplay is similar to the enemy waves, but it's separated by a few puzzles here and there, some including Wild Mutt's senses. The boss battles are fun, and I like to say the story is a pretty decent one. As mentioned before, it's co-op, but I think that's where they messed up here because the second player plays as Rook. I know it's for story-wise, but as one person gets to play as Ben and all of his aliens, the other's forced to play as a sidekick with no Omnitrix. Now, no hate on Rook, I like him, but I way prefer playing as Ben with all of his different aliens. Both Bens playable for co-op would have been a more fair experience, but then it would have completely destroyed the story, so I see why it's not that way. At least Power Trip had Kevin as the second player, so you'd still have an Omnitrix. The time has come to announce my number 1, and if you followed closely, you'll already know what it is. In at number 1 is Ben 10 Alien Force Vilgax Attacks. I'm gonna chuck all my pros at you as to why this is my number 1 spot. That roster of aliens, an engaging storyline, beautiful graphics, and so many planets to explore. This game is my number 1 because it just kept me wanting more. The story takes you over various different planets, keeping it looking fresh and allowing you to encounter many villains from the show. I absolutely love that all the characters got love, even the ones that don't get used much, like Brainstorm and Cannonball. The DS version even had Upchuck in it. I've always enjoyed exploring the various different planets and making up my own storylines. That's why I've replayed this game so many times. But even following the main story, it's engaging. I really don't know what more to say without it repeating the pros. It's one of, if not the only game where Ben stops to actually smack the watch before a transformation, and I love that. It makes me feel more immersed. Honestly, 10 out of 10. And you know what, that is a good idea. Let's round up this video by going through them all again, ranking them with a number. It's only fair, seeming as the old reviews are now gone forever. So here we go, let's just start. Ben 10 Power Trip, 1 out of 10. And that's being generous. Omniverse 2, 1 out of 10. Being generous again. Ben 10 Alien Force, 3 out of 10. Repetitive and boring, but they tried to do something with the story and letting you play as Ben and Kevin and Gwen. Shame it didn't perform as well as they wanted to. Ben 10 2017, 4 out of 10. The game's not bad, but honestly it's aimed at more of a younger age, and that's fine. Ben 10 Galactic Racing, 6 out of 10. It's a kart racer, you either love them or you hate them. In my case, I just played too many. Still a good game though. Ben 10 Protector of Earth, 8 out of 10. Amazing. Ben 10 Ultimate Alien and Ben 10 Omniverse, both 9 out of 10. Ben 10 Alien Force Vilgax Attacks, 10 out of 10. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is every Ben 10 game ranked. I do hope you enjoyed. I've been requested this one so many times, and I'm glad I could finally make it for you all. Please let me know in the comment section, what is your ranking? Do you agree with my ranking? I want to get so much conversation flowing. I want to be interacting with everybody. I want to know, what is your favourite Ben 10 game? What's your worst Ben 10 game? And if you've got time, rank them all. I'll be reading and replying and hearting every single one of them. So if you did enjoy this video, please drop it a like and subscribe for plenty of new content soon to come. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.